Hi, my name is Tori. This is my finished piece. I wrapped it up today, and there were a lot of um, challenges that I had with this, as well as readjustments. Because originally I wanted to do a landscape, but it ended up turning into this. I knew I wanted to incorporate a cat, and then also just a building of some sort in the distance, but I just wasn't sure in general. And I ended up taking two reference pictures that I took and combining them together to create this piece. And I like how it came out. A major problem I had that I kept facing was I was adding too much water as I was painting. So the paper kind of warped a little bit if you see like the corners and then overall um, the top, but I don't think it's too bad. Specific principles and concepts I used in my art. There's line work, which is used for the phone lines, and then as well as just the buildings overall in general. There's also color. I used some of the primary colors. I used also just greens, blues, purples as well. Both line and color I mentioned in chapter 4 of the textbook. Um, but I think overall, my piece itself relates to chapter 5 because chapter 5 mentions balance, which you can see as I have a building on each side, of course, a phone line on each side, and in the distance. Um, I used space as well, and then also perspective. Um, but mostly, too, chapter 5 also just talks about dry media and mixed media. And for this, I used watercolor. I used these little micron pens here. These are really great. And then I also used this white gel pen. I got them both from Amazon. They worked really well with this. And there's emphasis on the sky because of the three colors here. And then also maybe proportions because, of course, the telephone lines are smaller than others. And then this building being smaller than this one. And overall, just variety in general. To the left side right here, we have this black cat on this green building, and then I had a little open window with these little roses. Then I have this brown door with these yellow colored blinds, and then moving on to this side, there's um, a few clouds, one at the bottom, the middle, and then towards the top, as well as these little birds I incorporated last minute. And then I have, of course, the telephone lines, and then the last two in the distance. And then I have this building with this. I wanted to incorporate something on the roof. I wasn't sure what, so I used these random shapes along the lines. And then, yeah. Um, Originally, I was inspired by Studio Ghibli films because of the way the colors looked, and not only that, but the animations are hand drawn themselves. So I thought that was really cool. But of course, I didn't work out the way I wanted it to. So I also just overall like how they have a cottagecore aesthetic, kind of because of how rural the settings are. As I mentioned before, this picture, well, this cat resting on top of a building, it was an actual picture I took, and then the skyline as well as the telephone lines was another picture I took, like I had. So I just combined the two and then I just randomly drew this building in. But this cat, I guess it symbolizes my own cat because my cat looks just like this one. She's a tortie. Not only that, but like I said, it was an actual cat I had seen at the time. So there's that. A few things I learned along the way, some experience is that watercolor, of course, is very transparent, and I think you have to be a very patient person to work with the medium. Um, so yeah, there's that. I think another thing is that whatever was not, I mean, whatever was transparent, I had used color pencils to fill it in a little bit and just add shading as well. Um, I think too that watercolor you have to plan out your ideas and just overall on paper. Um, for my rough draft, I was struggling on what colors the sky should be, so I did some test runs for it, and then as well as I had a very light sketch of what I wanted. I wanted to make sure that the pencil markings weren't too dark to where they would show up afterwards. Um, Another thing is that, like I mentioned, I paid attention to the exact shades I used from the reference photos that I had, and yeah. The thing is, what I want to do with it now, I might keep it for this folder that I have that has all my other artworks, or I might just put it in my sketchbook. But overall, I do really like it, and I like the way it came out. Oh, I forgot to mention too, I have these like little dots there that might represent snow, or I don't know, something. But overall, I do like it, and I do plan on keeping it and not throwing it away. And yeah, thank you.